In my last video, I went over my step-by-step skincare routine, and now we're going to be doing the makeup. My first step is brow gel. I just run it through my brows really good and then brush them up. I don't really fill in my brows. Sometimes I do, but not normally. So then you're just going to kind of take the edge of the brush and shape them like that. So my next step is completely dependent on what I'm going to be doing with my eyes. If I'm going to be doing a look that has a lot of fallout, I'm going to start with my eyes first. If not, I'll just go in with my base. You can take like a Q-tip or a piece of toilet paper and kind of outline the brow just so that you can get rid of the excess brow glue, just because it's going to kind of fuck up your base. And brow gel is just to hold the hairs in place. Next would be foundation. You can use a sponge, you can use a brush. I'm going to use a brush. I'm going to use my Maybelline True Match foundation. I think this foundation just looks so good on my skin. And I take about 2 pumps of it. You can always go in with more. And you're going to take your brush and you're just going to like really saturate it in there so it's like even. So you're going to start where you feel like you need the most coverage. So I'm going to start right here. And you just kind of do tapping motions like this. Just tap, tap, tap. Make sure you bring it down your neck. And when I'm blending, I don't bring it right up to my eye. Just like around it like this. Just because that's where we're going to put our concealer. Just use like a dot more for my forehead. Like, look how pretty the foundation is. And blending takes a few minutes. Take your time. Once it's blended out to your liking, you're going to go in with concealer. So first I go in with this one from Bobbi Brown. Like, it's bright, but it's not too bright. Because when I go in with this one first, it makes my makeup not look very good because it's way too bright. So with concealer, you can also prime it like we did with our foundation. So you just put it on the back of your hand, take your concealer brush and really work it in and then apply it. Or you can go straight in with it. I do like priming it more, but genuinely just forgot. It's still going to look good. I'm going to use a sponge for my concealer and I just dampened it a little bit. And I let my concealer sit for a few minutes. Okay, so to blend it out, what I do is I look kind of upwards. And just tap, tap, tap. Not really swiping, just tapping, like this. I tap the excess onto my lid. And just keep tapping until it's blended out. And then look forward and just keep tapping. Once it's blended out, I'm then going to go in with my brighter concealer, just a little bit, and I really focus it like right there. And just a little bit on my chin, and then a little bit in the center of my forehead. Again, you're just gonna look up and blend it out. You see how bright it looks? Rather than it just being completely bright underneath. It's really focused just right in the inner corner. Same thing with the chin and the forehead. You're just gonna tap. And again, not swiping, just tapping. My favorite steps in my routine are definitely concealer, blush, and eyeshadow. For me, I just feel like those 3 things really pull the look together. Just tapping a little bit of the concealer on my forehead, down my nose, just a little. Now we're going to let our concealer dry down. Start on our bronzer. This is the bronzer I've been using lately. It's from Rare Beauty. So we're going to prime this brush with the bronzer, just rubbing it all over. Go in with your hand to kind of evenly distribute it. And then we'll go in with the face. And this is where I put my bronzer, right here and on the forehead. And I just tap it like this. You can take the excess and run it along your jawline. Make sure you're blending it out really good. So just applying a little bit on my nose like this. We can clean it up after. And if you feel like you put too much, again, just go in with your foundation brush to really soften the edges. Okay, so we're going to go in some blush now. This is the one from One Size. You're just going to take your brush, dip it in, and again, kind of even it out on the back of your hand. And then go right in with it, kind of where you put the bronzer. I like kind of blending it underneath my under eye too. Not all the way, but like a little bit. I like to put a little bit on my nose and my chin. Okay, and now that the concealer is dry, we're going to take a Q-tip and clean out the excess. Because you see when I go like this, You can see in the lines there's a bunch of excess concealer. So we'll pull it down and just clean out between the lines and then re-blend it out. So I'm just re-blending it. So you see when you pull it down now, there's no excess. Doing that just helps make it look better when you set it. You can set it with a brush, a beauty blender. I'm going to do it with a, and then you're going to kind of like rub it into the back of your hand to make it more even. And just look up when you're applying it underneath the eye. Like that. I blend it a little bit down here too and upwards, and look at the difference. Apply it here and here. The powder locks everything in place and kind of gives it that airbrush effect. And I take a translucent powder, this is Wet n Wild's, and I kind of put this all over my face, really focusing it on the points where I sweat a lot, which would be right here. Doing the same thing, picking it up and then evening it out. Putting it here, on my chin, right here, on my nose, pretty much everywhere. This is no filter, by the way. Look how good my base looks. Earlier, we went in with a cream bronzer and a cream blush, and now we're going to go in with powdered versions. I'm just going to go in with the One Size Made for shade, and I'm just going in the first shade there, putting it on my brush and tapping off the excess. And then I apply it in circular motions where we put the cream bronzer on my forehead, right here, my jawline, and my nose. And make sure you're applying it in small batches, because if you just dunk your brush in there and go right off the bat, like, it's going to take forever to blend out and it might not blend out to the way that you like it. So just start small and build up. I'm just using the One Size cheek clapper and dunking my brush in and tapping off the excess. And then again, circular motions where I put my cream blush. I am just going to go back in with my translucent powder and kind of bake a little bit underneath my eye. So just applying a bit more here, here, and right there so that it looks very snatched. Use my new eyeshadow brushes for my eyes. I think I'm just going to do a little bit of bronzer in the crease. So you're going to take a fluffy brush and just go back in with your bronzer, dunking it in, again, tapping off that excess. And what I do is I put it all in my crease like this, just blending it back and forth, kind of upwards to give that lifted effect. And just keep going until you like the color. Like, if you think this is a little bit too opaque, then just keep adding more. Again, don't start off with so much that you can't really take it away. Start off slow and build it up. I want to build mine up a little bit more, so I'm just taking the bronzer again and just going right in there and blending it out. I think I am going to add a little bit of dimension. I'm going to take this darker shade and put it kind of right here. So just going in with it and tapping off the excess. And if you have hooded eyes like me, don't raise your brows. Just relax your face, kind of look forward. And I'm just going to put it right here, going in circular motions upwards. And I'm only focusing it here. I'm not going to go in. Circular motions, back and forth to blend it in to that first shade. I'm just going back in with my first brush to kind of soften it all up and blend it together. Do you see the slight difference? If you don't have this, just use a eyeshadow palette. And how I do it is I do the lightest color first, kind of all over, and then a slightly darker shade right here. And then I'll show you the next step. I'm just going to take my Morphe palette and take an even darker shade. Probably going to go in with the black. Okay, so I just packed the black. Okay, so I just packed the black onto this little tiny brush and I put it on my lash line like this. And then you're just going to like pull it out to create a wing. Then going back in with that second brush to like blend it out. I hope you saw that, I'm sorry. Blend it out like this to give it like that smoky effect. If you feel like the blending kind of took the wing away, again, just go back in with your brush. I wouldn't take any more of the black, just use what's left. And stamp it, and then pull. And then just keep blending it until you think it looks good. I also don't bring it all the way. I kind of stop like halfway, just because that's how I like it. If you don't like it like that, bring it all the way in. So you see how it's a little bit messy right there? Don't worry about it. We're going to put a nude shade on here, but if you don't want to do that, you can clean it up with a Q-tip. Just scrape it off a little bit, and then take your first and second brush and just reblend. I'll show you what I mean. So you're just going to take a Q-tip and just kind of scrape it off. See? Take the first brush and just re-blend it. We're going to use the Abby Roberts palette, and we're going to use this one right here for the lid. You're going to take a flat brush, again, knock off the excess. So you can go in with concealer first if you want it really sharp, but I'm just going to put this on here. I don't want to cut the crease. And just kind of tap it on to the lid, like this. Tap, tap, tap. And again, go in with your first brush to kind of blend out the edges, like this. Second brush too if you feel like it's kind of lost that dimension. And then you can add sparkle or just leave it how it is. Okay, I just applied the Fenty highlighter on my lid. Look how pretty that is. We're going to apply it to the other one. I'm just taking a fluffy brush and tapping it on. That's really pretty. I'm going to apply it with my finger and see. Ooh, yeah, that's really pretty. Okay, so next up, we're going to take a pressed powder and a fluffy brush. Normally I would use something bigger, but my brushes are dirty. So we're going to go ahead and rub it in there. And then we're just going to put it everywhere that we put that powder. Like this. You see how it's kind of like dulling the lines, like making it less harsh? One like that. Just everywhere. Next up, we're going in with mascara. This is the Lash Princess from Essence. And you can curl your lashes if you want. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. There. The camera really doesn't do the glitter justice. I'm sorry, it's so freaking pretty. And then you're just gonna go in with however many coats of mascara you want. Like, I go in with like 2 or 3. And then you're just gonna build up the mascara to how you like it. You can use fake lashes. I don't normally do that, but I did buy some to try. I'm not trying them tonight, but next time. Like, look how good this mascara is. For the bottom lashes, I just kind of take my brush like this and kind of stipple it on to the roots of my lash rather than applying it completely. So I feel like when I put it on all the way, it looks kind of weird. Here, and now, last but not least, the lip. So I just wiped off the foundation on my lip. Normally I just use a gloss, so we're going to go with the Fenty Gloss Bombs. Next, you would set your face, but I'm not going to do that because it's literally like almost 2 a.m. And I only have a little bit of this left, so I'm not using it right now. But there you go. That would be it. Look how good my base looks. And I can't get over the glitter. Oof! Here's a close-up. No filter. Oh wait, I completely forgot to put eyeshadow underneath my lash lines. Okay, and here's the final look. Let me know what you guys think. If you try out my routine, let me know. I will see you guys later. Bye!